Welcome to Cities on the Move. I'm your host, Stephanie Passingham. Nancy Overgaard has traveled the world during her calling as a minister. We'll hear about some of her most interesting destinations. And the Blue Zone Vitality Project is in full swing. Chris Chalmers and Catherine Buboltz join us to talk about how you can get involved. And we'll drop in on the Freeborn County Dancing with the Stars. The Red Cross of Freeborn County helps many people in the community, and this is one fun way they raise money for their work. All this and more coming up on Cities on the Move. Nancy Overgaard has traveled around the world answering the call to ministry. Let's listen to some of her travels and how she has been able to help others.
My name is Nancy Overgaard and I'm from Albert Lea, Minnesota. I first felt called to ministry when I was about 20, but I never foresaw that being ordained ministry. I had an idea that it would have something to do with international and something to do with serving people, but I didn't foresee ordained ministry. After completing Bible school, I had an opportunity to live in Israel for 2 years, to serve as a volunteer, then to be in Lebanon working in war relief. And then there was a long, quiet season where I didn't travel overseas, but I had a wonderful opportunity to work with international students from all over the world. I went to University of Minnesota to do a bachelor's degree in international relations. Nepal is one of the poorest countries in the world, and the inequities in the world, the seeming disparity, people so impoverished there that they're undersized and underweight, and 2 small meals a day of lentils and rice, and then to go from there and step onto a German airline where there was all kinds of food and beverages and anything that you could want, and it made a dramatic impact on my life. There I had an opportunity to go to Croatia to visit at a seminary whose director I had known and worked for when I was in seminary, and an opportunity to go into Bosnia and actually to fly over into Sarajevo shortly after the war there stopped, so able to see the devastation in the city below. One year, as we were doing outreach, we found ourselves in one community after the other that had been devastated by war in the 1990s. And that was already a decade in the past, but people were still deeply, deeply wounded, and not just physically, but emotionally. For one example, I asked a student who happened to be Serbian if he would speak after a program that we were doing for children, and our host pulled me aside and she said, please don't do that. This was a front line in the war, and people here are still too deeply hurt and not ready to hear a Serbian accent, and they'll be able to recognize right away where he's from. One of the most rewarding things about my work was being able to host short-term mission teams from the United States, and I was continually blessed by their generosity, by their servanthood. They're willing to serve in whatever capacity. One of the mission pastors that came over has a PhD, but he was as willing as anybody to scrape a wall or dig a ditch or do whatever needed to be done. So the humility, the generosity were phenomenal. There are some fascinating opportunities for people to serve overseas with just about any kind of talent or gift. There's also a fascinating movement in business as mission, where business people are going over for short-term or long-term to help people in struggling countries start small businesses. I have a passion for my work because it involves meeting all kinds of interesting people and because the needs are vast.
Who was the scout for Colonel Albert Lee's unit? Find the answer on our website, ksmq.org.
Well, there has been a ton of preparation so far for the Albert Lea Blue Zone Vitality Project, and the community has finally kicked it off and has gotten everyone involved in the project, and we have a couple of special guests today. We have Chris Chalmers from Community Education, and we have Catherine Buboltz, who is one of the volunteers and coordinators for the project. Welcome to both of you for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Chris, let's start with you. For those who may not have heard of the Blue Zone Vitality Project, give us a nice overview of what this is all about.
Okay. Dan Buettner, National Geographic explorer and writer, has explored the world and found, with a team of researchers, has found 4 areas where people live longer, better. They live to be 100 good, active lives. And he wrote a New York Times best-selling book called The Blue Zones, and he's taken 9 common traits, and now they're trying to take an initiative. Can we take these 9 traits from these 4 different areas of the world and apply it to a city in the United States? And Albert Lea was selected to be this pilot site for this first and only project to date of this magnitude.
All right. So we're going to take these 9 principles, we're going to try to apply them to the people of the community and hope that they
add vital years to your lives. Our goal is to add 10,000 years of vital, healthy lives to the people in Albert Lea.
All right, great. And I think that one of the key points that they emphasize in this project is it's not just living longer, it's living better too.
Yes, because no one wants to live to be 100 if you can't be moving and doing the things that you enjoy. This is all about being active and vital throughout all those years.
All right. So there was a lot of kind of behind-the-scenes preparation. They did some press conferences and some news has been dribbling out about this, but you had your huge kickoff. Tell us a little bit about that and how successful it was. The energy was just fantastic.
It was a great night for Albert Lea. Almost 1,300 people came together at our high school, and Dan Buettner, we had a number of representatives from the United Health Foundation and AARP were in town, and they were so impressed with the people of our area and the excitement over this project. And they really just set the tone for what's taking place right now.
All right. Now, Catherine, I want to hear a little bit about your personal interest in this project. I'm sure you heard about it, but what caused you to want to become involved?
Well, I wanted to be involved in the Walking Moais. I'm involved in some Nordic walking classes that we do through Community Education, so I have an interest in walking. And we also were part of the kickoff that was in May, and we had about 100 people, and some of those were families, so probably more than 100 that signed up for the Walking Moai the night of the kickoff.
Okay.
And so we've got some fun, exciting things coming up planned with that as well.
Great. And why do you think something like this is so important to the community?
Well, I think for me personally, Chris and I were talking on the way over, and for me personally, it's helped me to form connections with other people in our community that I normally wouldn't even have connections with. And so that's a very important piece of it, and also the healthy aspect of it. I like that we're working towards becoming a healthier community as well.
Okay. Now at the kickoff you had a number of tables sprinkled throughout the cafeteria there and people could sign up. But what does sign up mean? People are often so busy they're like, oh, I can't do one more thing on my list. What are these sign-up activities, and what will that mean to them? Can we walk through some of those? Sure. Catherine, maybe you want to start with the Walking Moai and explain what that is.
We had people sign up by neighborhood. We had broken down Albert Lea into different neighborhoods, and then we also brought surrounding areas in as well, where people could come together with neighbors or also through businesses. If people wanted to sign up through small or large businesses to form groups of 10 people on a team that would walk in these walking moais, or walking groups of people getting together. And so we had those sign-ups that evening, and we had approximately, like I say, over 100 people that signed up that evening to participate in that program.
Now, in a Walking Moai, do they have to walk together, or they simply are accountable to one another for the time that they walk during the week? Can you give us some details on how that works?
Sure. What they're doing is the teams are no more than 10 people with one team leader, and they accumulate points where they can get prizes at the end of this 10-week period. They accumulate points for the more people that walk together in that team. They need at least 2 team members walking together for that to count towards their total. But ideally, we'd like to have as many people as possible getting together 2-3 times a week to walk to destinations that are within a mile of where they're starting from. And we're hoping that it'll do 2 things. One is create community by bringing people together, and the other is show people how many destinations really are within walking distance of their residence or of their business where they work.
Okay. And maybe to encourage some walking outside of this.
Exactly.
Activity. Okay.
Yep.
Great. Chris, there are a ton of other activities. What are some other things that people can sign up for?
We are fortunate enough to have purpose seminars. Richard Leiter, another best-selling author, is in town June 17th out at Wedgwood Cove, and he'll be presenting 2 more sessions, purpose seminars, about just how to find meaning in your life. And that's an element of living good, is finding meaning, and volunteering options. We have volunteer options set up through our United Way, has a website, and they're hosting all the different volunteer options in our community, and people can go online and look to see how they can get involved, because if people who volunteer live longer. We have initiatives with gardening. Gardening in all the blue zones is a great activity. Not only is it natural movement, it provides you good organic food or just beautiful flowers and stuff. So there's going to be some gardening contests that people can get involved in. We have walking school buses going. Well, our school year has just ended, but at the end of the year we piloted a few walking school buses, and it was great to see so many participants. And our goal is next year we want to increase that and expand that to all the schools and really make it a positive thing for our community.
Tell us, what is a walking school bus? That sounds kind of funny.
A walking school bus is a group of adults walking with a group of kids. So in our neighborhood, most of the kids, it's just a little over a mile from school, but they were all being driven to school or taking a bus. But since we instituted the walking school buses, there's specific times where they get together. They meet at this corner at 7:20, this corner at 7:35. And a parent don't have to walk. If you have to work, you can just send your kids off to the walking school bus stop. But other neighbors and parents will pick up your kids and walk them to school and from school. So from our neighborhood alone, there's over 50 kids that were walking or they were driving or riding a bus. Now they're walking to school. So that's one neighborhood making a big change for those kids. Let me see, the purpose seminars.
Well, and we're also hoping, too, with the walking school bus, to take some of the people that participate in the Walking Mawai, and in the fall, when school starts up again and they start the walking school bus program, to roll some of those people into the walking school bus program to assist with getting those kids to
meet
school.
Both goals.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
We also have creative cooking classes, healthy classes following the longevity food list that has been supplied from the Blue Zones people. U of M Public Health is a big participant, and they provide a lot of the science and research behind it. So through the Albert Lea Community Ed, people have questions, they can call to sign up for a purpose seminar on June 17th. The creative cooking classes will be in July, August, September. People can look online at the school website, or they can call any of us to get involved in those.
And I noticed this is really kind of permeating throughout the community. I was in the grocery store, and there are signs up all over pointing out which foods are on that list. So you have some good partnerships in the community. Tell me a little bit about some of those.
Yeah, that's, people say, how do you know if this project is a success? It's already a success because we're getting so many people working together that haven't worked together in the past. And we have our grocery stores labeling their foods. We have the city and the school and the medical center and the businesses, and just a lot of people coming together because this is unique. It's never been done before to try to get 5,000 people in Albert Lea, 5,000 adults in Albert Lea to commit to take a pledge and to get involved. So it takes everyone working together to follow through on this process.
Talk a little bit about why signing that pledge is important, not only for kind of helping individuals make that commitment, but tracking them and being able to account whether or not this is working.
It is. I mean, United Health Foundation, ARP, they've funded a lot of money for this project, so they want to see some numbers and results in that way. But it's a nice little simple checklist. It gives 14 options for people to select from. And to participate in the program, you just need to select 4. You know, one being Take the Compass. It's an online tool. It's 35 questions. It will show you what your biological age is, how long you can expect to live, how long you can expect to live disease-free. Take it now, and then take it again in October when this project culminates. And then, but it's just getting involved, giving people options that they can do. Many people say, oh, I'm already doing this. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the activities aren't unique new ideas. In many ways, it's bringing us back to the way we were 50 years ago, where it's more natural movement, more destination walking and biking. And so we have good bones in Albert Lea. We want to try to awaken those and make it a vital community.
So it sounds like sometimes people get a little nervous when you talk about a health project and they think they're going to have to be doing serious aerobics 5 times a week. That's not what this is that right?
Not the case at all. I mean, there's many ways you can do it without even breaking a sweat. You can live a healthier life. One is attended a weekly worship service. People who attend a weekly worship service 4 or more times in a month live 7 to 14 years longer. And that's based on some Duke medical research and what they're finding in the blue zones. You can attend a purpose workshop. It's 3 hours where you're getting informed, a very fun, informative night. And that's not including physical activity. So everyone's included. There are some things where you can do like walking school buses, walking moais, and do more natural movement, but you pick and choose. They don't tell you what you have to do. It's really a
personal
choice. Yeah.
Sure.
So there's a lot you can do without. It's not a fitness program. It's not a diet. You can eat the food that you are eating now. You can do the exercise or the exercise you're not doing now, but there's things that you can do to improve our lives. Everyone can. Yeah.
Okay, very comprehensive approach that they're taking.
Yes.
All right. Catherine, now you have decided to be involved as a volunteer. What does that mean for you? And I know it kind of ties into the work that you do, but talk about what volunteers experience and why you might encourage someone to still jump in on board as an ambassador for this project.
It's been a wonderful experience. Both my husband and I both signed up to be ambassadors to kind of spread the word on this project, and there's a lot of work to be done with this, a lot of opportunities, different opportunities to people to help out any way that they are willing to or want to participate. We're doing a kickoff on the 18th, and we're looking for people to help volunteer and helping us register people to sign up for the walking moais. Even we need people to help us set up or prepare the schools that night, or to help us take things down for that night. So there's many different ways that people can be involved, and it's given me the opportunity to meet a lot of different people within our community. It's been a lot of fun.
All right. And for folks that may be interested in volunteering or may be interested in taking that pledge, one question that I've heard out there is it for people just in Albert Lea?
No, being involved in this project for the research that they're doing is within a 30-mile radius of Albert Lea, so it's many zip codes. It includes Austin and Hayward, Ellendale. I mean, a lot of the surrounding communities within a 30-mile radius, but we're not limiting to that. If somebody from Red Wing wants to try an element of this, they can do an element. These are good, solid foundations for anyone, no matter where you live. So we encourage everyone to go online and do the Vitality Compass and do that. So it's a neat project.
Okay.
One other interesting thing about the Vitality Compass is there's also a Vitality Coach. That's part of that as well. That when you go in and do the Compass, you can also sign up to do the Vitality Coach, and it sends you a message each day based on the information that you put in there of how you can add years onto your life. And it sort of helps you keep track of or gives you reminders. Or did you have fish in the last 3 days? Things that you need that you could probably improve on or work on. That it just sort of sends you some gentle reminders, and depending on how you answer those questions, it tells you whether you've added years of life or not.
Oh, interesting. And that applies to all ages. I mean, it
Yes.
sounds like they are taking an approach. This is community-wide regardless of what your starting age. So if you're a child and doing walking school bus, that works. If you're a senior citizen and you choose some of these things, that works as well. Is that correct?
And the pledge is mostly geared for people 18 and older, and the Compass online tool is mostly factored for adults.
Okay.
The results might not be so accurate for young kids, but kids are involved. They did activities at schools. Dan Buettner came to all the elementary schools and did presentations for them, showed them slides of where he's traveled, and got the kids excited, talked to them about how they can get involved and live better lives and just make good choices for themselves. So it's really impacting our whole community.
Well, it's the energy and people are talking about it like crazy. So I wish you all luck with that. If someone has questions, who do they call?
They could call Bob Graham at the Community Development Office at City Hall, Wendy Flugum. Call myself at Community Education.
Okay.
Or
there's a
any of the
website.
ambassadors. There's website for community ed in the city. There'll be a presence for Blue Zones at the farmers markets on Wednesday and Saturdays in Albert Lea. So if people have questions, they just need to look around and just contact us, and we'll be more than happy to help out. If people want speakers or presentations about the Blue Zones, contact us and we'll come out and do a presentation for your organization too.
Great. Sounds like you guys have permeated the community completely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming by and talking with us about it. I'm sure our viewers are interested in the outcome that you guys will discover here at the end of October.
Thank you.
All right. Well, stay tuned for more Cities on the Move.
Meet Mary Kelly, a noted conceptual artist, teacher, and writer who was born in Albert Lea. She studied fine art and music at the College of St. Teresa. Kelly moved to New York in 1989, and now she is a professor of interdisciplinary studio practice at the Department of Art of the University of California, Los Angeles.
The Freeborn County Red Cross is there when people need a helping hand. They also know how to have some fun. Let's take a look.
Founded by Civil War humanitarian Clara Barton, the American Red Cross is an organization that provides emergency assistance, disaster relief, and education inside the United States, and is the designated U.S. affiliate of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. In addition to domestic disaster relief, the American Red Cross offers services in 5 other areas: community services that help the needy, communication services and comfort for military members and their family members, the collection, processing, and distribution of blood and blood products, educational programs or health and safety, and international relief and development programs. For the Red Cross in Freeborn County, the most pressing need is disaster relief from fires. Local Executive Director Jeannie Updahl explains.
The mission of the Red Cross is to prevent, prepare, and respond to disasters of any kind in Freeborn County or anywhere in the United States that were needed. Single-family fires, multiple family fires, tornadoes. We've recently responded to the Fargo floods, and right now we have one volunteer that's in Arkansas for responding to the tornadoes that they had down there. And we do almost any kind of disaster, man-made or natural. Pretty much a single-family fire or multiple family fires, that's mostly what we respond to. Typically, on an average, we have about 8 to 10 fires a year, sometimes a few more than that, and on a good year, not as many. Our main objectives are food, clothing, and shelter. And we always make sure that they have a safe place to go. When we respond to a fire, every member of the family gets a quilt and every member of the family gets a comfort kit, which is basically everything you would need to face a new day if you've lost everything you have.
While the main focus of each chapter is its specific geographic location, Red Cross chapters respond wherever the need arises.
We have a regional structure, which is like the 9 counties close around us that we have mutual aid agreements with. So if there's a disaster or a need in any of those counties, we help each other out as much as we possibly can.
In addition to disaster relief, the Freeborn County Red Cross offers several educational classes.
Other than responding to disasters, we also do a lot of educational classes on disaster preparedness, know what to do in case of a disaster, be sure you have your disaster kit, be sure you have contact information. And if you have children in school, be sure you know what the evacuation plan is for the school that your children are in, but be sure that the school also knows what your evacuation plan is in case something should happen in your neighborhood. We also do a lot of CPR and first aid classes. We do babysitting classes, and we are the link between the service person and the family at home. So if there's an emergency or anything, if they contact the Red Cross, then we can get the message through to the service person.
Support for the Red Cross comes from community donations through blood drives and fundraisers. A few years ago, the Freeborn County Red Cross began a truly fun fundraiser that has proven to be a big success.
We typically have had soup and pie suppers, we've had fish fries, we've had direct mail campaigns. Sometimes our youth group has had car washes, anything like that. And then 3 years ago we happened to stumble onto this idea, and so for the last 3 years our biggest fundraiser has been Dancing with the Freeborn County Stars. We have volunteers who donate their time and efforts to be our stars. Roberta has been very good at coordinating the whole thing and putting the dancers and the partners together. And the partners are typically students of hers that have taken dance lessons for maybe the last 2 or 3 years. We get usually 8 stars is about the right number. And the dance partners then are people who have taken dance lessons from Dance Yourself Silly dance studios here in town.
Once the dancers have prepared, the big night arrives and it's time for them to show their stuff and raise money for the Red Cross.
People will come and watch them dance. They get scored on the judges' scores, and then half of their points are the money that they get in their jars.
In addition to a great deal of fun, this event raises more than $30,000 for the chapter.
It has been a wonderful experience. My partner, Dr. Joey, is excellent, and it's just an awesome opportunity to do something that, you wouldn't think you would ever be able to do.
The enthusiasm for helping others keeps the Freeborn County Red Cross an organization on the move.
They just do an awesome job, and I'm glad that I'm able to partake in this event for them to help raise money.
Cities on the Move is on the web. Make a comment, ask a question, or share your good idea by visiting our website at ksmq.org.
Summer is a busy time. Here are a few events you may want to check out in the coming weeks. The Pelican Breeze is offering a full range of cruises on Albert Lee Lake. Enjoy pizza, being a pirate, or just relaxing on a Sunday afternoon. Now, sometimes reservations are required, so for more information, call 507-383-2630. And once again, free live music is being offered at Edgewater Park at the Band Shell. Big Ben and the Bryans are the featured performers for Sunday, June 21st. It's a perfect way to spend Father's Day. The Blue Banners play the following Sunday. And of course, the 4th of July weekend is packed full of events. Several performances by the Bayside Skiers, the 3rd of July parade, food, a carnival, fireworks, and more. For a complete schedule of events, visit albertleetourism.org. And on July 9th, the Albert Lee Art Center is hosting an open house entitled Art in a Sustainable World. Heidi Thompson and Bonnie Wedge are among the featured artists. For more information, call 507-373-5665. To share your event, visit us at ksmq.org. Next week on Cities on the Move, we will meet Cairo Landsberger. Tai Chi is one of his passions, and he will tell us about it and demonstrate this martial art. Later in the program, Mark Oshevsky from the Papa John Entrepreneurial Center joins us to talk about how their programs help people realize their dreams of running their own business. And finally, we'll learn all about what it takes to make a great cup of coffee when we visit Bliss Java Chocolate and More in Mankato, Minnesota. Please join us Tuesday, June 23rd at 6:30 p.m. for another edition of Cities on the Move. I'm your host, Stephanie Passingham. Good night.
Production of this program is made possible in part through a grant from the City of Albert Lee and the Blandon Foundation.